Tori Williams was 32 when her sister made a mistake that would change everything. One night, Megan accidentally added her to a family group chat called Real Family Only. The name alone froze her blood. But what she found inside, 8 members, 7 years, 847 messages, cut deeper than she ever thought possible. They called her the charity case, mocked her divorce, even placed bets on how long her marriage would last. Her own mother wrote, "At least she doesn't have kids. One less grandchild to worry about." Tori didn't cry. She took screenshots. Every word. Then she sent one text, "Thanks for the receipts." 4 days later, her grandmother's 70th birthday party would turn everything upside down. But to understand what happened that day, you have to go back 6 weeks earlier, to the morning when Grandma Eleanor first called. It was 7 a.m. and Tori's phone buzzed beside her bed. "Tori, honey," her grandmother said warmly, "I'm having a birthday party soon and I want you there." The words caught her off guard. Usually, family updates came through group messages. Messages she was never part of. "Of course, Grandma," she replied softly. "I wouldn't miss it." When the call ended, she sat still, realizing this was the first time in months someone in her family had called her just to include her. As she sat on her bed, Tori thought about the last decade. Every Saturday morning driving Grandma to her heart appointments, every Sunday afternoon cleaning her house, every late night sitting beside her when loneliness crept in. Meanwhile, Megan, her half-sister, only appeared for photo moments. Christmas, Thanksgiving, and Instagram posts captioned "Family is everything." She was the golden child, the one with the perfect smile and 50,000 followers. But Tori never said a word. She believed that family, no matter how unfair, was something you stayed loyal to. Until the week before the party, when a single text broke that belief completely. 3 days before the event, Tori called her mother to ask about the dress code. "Oh, just casual, honey," her mother said lightly. "Nothing fancy." Tori trusted her. She even offered to bring Grandma's medication to the house. When she arrived, her mother's phone buzzed on the counter. A preview from Megan's text flashed across the screen. "Remember, cocktail dress. Photographers coming at 4. Her heart sank. Casual. She stared at the phone, realizing she'd been misled. Again. She placed the medication on the counter and left quietly, no argument, no goodbye. But in her chest, something cold began to form. Something she hadn't felt before. Resolve. That evening, Tori did something unusual. She called Megan herself. The line rang 3 times before her sister answered, her voice sharp and cold. "Hey," Megan said flatly. "Just checking about Grandma's party," Tori began. "Do you need help with anything?" Silence stretched for a few seconds. Then came a smirk hidden in her tone. "Oh, Grandma invited you too?" The word "too" stung like a slap. "She called me herself," Tori replied quietly. Megan laughed softly. "Well, it's kind of a family thing, you know." "What does that mean?" Tori asked. "Nothing," Megan said. "Forget it." And then she hung up. 20 minutes later, Tori's phone buzzed again. It was a voice message from Megan. She pressed play and froze. Megan's voice came through, muffled but clear. "Oh my God, she's so annoying. Calling me like we're best friends or something," she said, laughing with someone in the background. "She acts like Grandma's favorite makes her special. I don't even get what Grandma sees in her." Then the recording ended. Seconds later, a text followed. "Oops, sent that by accident. Don't mind it." Tori stared at the screen, her heart sinking. 7 words. Don't mind it. But she did. For the first time in years, she did. That night, Tori lay awake in her small apartment, staring at the ceiling. The city outside hummed softly, but inside her room was only silence. 32 years old, divorced and working 60-hour weeks as an ICU nurse, she had built a quiet life, one where she could care for others and avoid being hurt again. Grandma Eleanor was her only true anchor, the one person who made her feel like she belonged. She remembered being 12 at the father-daughter dance, crying because she had no dad there. Grandma had shown up in a suit and bow tie saying, "Then dance with me, sweetheart." And they did all night. But now Grandma was aging fast. Her heart had endured 3 surgeries, 2 hospital scares, and countless medications. "Promise me you'll be okay when I'm gone," she'd whispered once, holding Tori's hand. That memory haunted her now. Tori thought about the day of Grandpa's funeral, when she sat alone in the back pew while the rest of the family comforted each other. Her mother didn't even glance her way. Grandma had found her, sat quietly beside her, and squeezed her hand without a word. "I keep track, honey," she'd said softly. "I always keep track." Back then, Tori never knew how much those words would mean. 4 nights before the party, everything changed again. It was close to midnight when Tori's phone buzzed with a new notification. "Megan Harper added you to Real Family Only." For a second she thought it was a mistake. Real Family Only? Her thumb hovered over the screen. Then she tapped. The chat opened and her breath caught. There it was, a group of 8. Her mother, Megan, Aunt Linda, and several cousins. Everyone except Grandma. Everyone except her. The message counter showed 847 unread messages. 7 years of conversations she'd never seen. Her chest tightened. She started scrolling and couldn't stop. The oldest message was from Aunt Linda. "Finally, a place to talk without you-know-who seeing." Megan replied, "Charity case free zone." Then her mother wrote, "Girls, don't be mean, but yeah, this feels nice." The room spun. Tori's hands trembled as she scrolled further, message after message blurring into each other. Inside jokes, secret plans, photos from events she was told never happened. Then came the thread that broke her. New rule, call her Cece from now on. Cece? Charity case. Even her mother had laughed, typing, "Kind of accurate though." Tori set her phone down, shaking. They hadn't just excluded her. They had renamed her. Tori's eyes burned as she scrolled through the years of messages. When she lost her first nursing job at 26 due to budget cuts, they celebrated. Aunt Linda wrote, "Knew she couldn't hack it." Megan replied, "How long till she asks Mom for money?" And her mother had added, "She won't. Too proud. That's her problem." Tears blurred Tori's vision. When she started dating Marcus, her ex-husband, they made bets. How long will it last? Aunt Linda wrote, 2 years max. Megan added, I say 18 months. Even the cousins joined in. It wasn't family, it was a cruel audience taking bets on her pain. But the worst part came when they found out she was getting married. Megan had posted, "Cece's engaged." Aunt Linda asked, "To who? Does he even know what he's getting into?" Her mother's reply cut deepest, "I'll be honest. Never thought she'd find someone." Then Megan wrote, "Starting the divorce pool now. I got 50 on under 5 years." Aunt Linda laughed. "Put me down for 3. Her mother joined in, "Make mine 4. The words blurred together in Tori's eyes. They had turned her entire marriage into a joke, and her mother had played along. She sat frozen, unable to breathe, reading until dawn. At 2 in the morning she found the messages from her divorce. Guess what? Megan had written, "Cece's getting divorced." Aunt Linda replied, "No way." Finally, Cousin Amy asked, "Who won the bet?" Aunt Linda wrote, "Let me check. 4 years and 3 months. Closest to my guess." Megan replied, "Fine. Pay up, ladies." The thread continued, 47 more messages mocking her, analyzing what she did wrong, even joking that her ex finally escaped. Her mother had added, "At least she doesn't have kids. One less grandchild to worry about." Tori stared at that sentence until the words lost shape. Then the tears stopped. Something shifted inside her. The grief hardened into clarity. They had never seen her as family, not once. And now she had proof. She opened a new folder on her phone labeled Real Family Only, Complete Archive, and began taking screenshots. Every insult, every laugh reaction, every heart emoji under a cruel joke. She worked methodically like she was charting patient data at the hospital. By 4:17 a.m. she was done. 847 screenshots. When she finished, she noticed something strange. An old message from 6 months earlier. Megan had written, "Grandma's getting weird. Keeps writing names in a notebook." The words made Tori pause. Aunt Linda had asked, "What kind of notebook?" Megan replied, "Some journal thing. I saw her writing Cece's name in it." Her mother had answered, "She's old. Probably just tracking meds." But Megan insisted, "She's obsessed with her. It's gross." Tori reread the thread 3 times, her heart pounding. Grandma had a notebook and she'd been writing names. Tori remembered Grandma's voice at Grandpa's funeral. "I keep track, honey." Could it be literal? Could Grandma have been documenting everything all along? That thought settled deep inside her. For the first time that night she didn't feel alone. Maybe Grandma already knew the truth. At 4:19 a.m., Tori opened the group chat one last time. She typed slowly, "Thanks for the receipts." Her thumb hovered over the send button. Then she pressed it. Within seconds her phone exploded. Calls, messages, panic. "Megan. Tori, please pick up. It was an accident. I was drunk. Mom. Honey, whatever you read, it's not what it looks like. Aunt Linda. Don't make this a bigger deal than it is. It's private family stuff." Private family stuff, Tori thought bitterly. 7 years of mockery, bets, and laughter at her pain, and now they called it private. She silenced the phone and finally felt calm. At dawn, Tori stood by her window watching the first lights spill over the city. The anger had burned out, leaving only quiet determination. She could have posted the screenshots online. She could have forwarded them to every relative. But that wasn't her way. "Grandma's party," she whispered to herself. "That's where this ends." She had no plan for revenge, only truth. She turned off her phone, climbed into bed, and slept for the first time in days. When she woke up hours later, her decision was made. The party wouldn't just be a birthday. It would be a reckoning. 3 days before the celebration, Megan showed up at her apartment. Her makeup was perfect, but her eyes were red. "Tori, please, can we talk?" she said softly. Tori stepped aside, saying nothing. Megan sat carefully on the edge of the couch, twisting her designer bag in her hands. "I'm sorry. You have to believe me. The chat, it got out of hand. I was young. We were joking." Tori's face didn't change. "You bet on my divorce, Megan." "That was Aunt Linda's idea." Megan blurted. "You were 22, Tori replied. "And you did it again last year when you bet on my promotion." Megan's expression cracked. "You saw that." "I saw everything," Tori said quietly. The fake tears dried instantly, replaced by something sharper, defensiveness. "You can't tell Grandma," Megan said quickly. "She's fragile. This could kill her." Tori almost laughed. "You care about Grandma's health now?" "I've always cared. You visited her twice last year." "I went every week." Megan snapped. "I have a business to run." Tori tilted her head. "You mean your Instagram account?" The silence stretched. "I'm going to the party," Tori said finally. "Because Grandma invited me." Megan's voice rose. "You can't do this to the family." "I'm not," Tori said. "I'm done pretending." Megan stared at her, breathing hard. "You know, this is why no one likes you," she spat. "You always have to be the victim." Tori met her eyes calmly. "And you always have to be the villain. Guess that makes us even." Megan's jaw tightened. She turned on her heel and left without another word. The door clicked shut. The silence that followed felt like peace. Tori sat for a while, listening to the hum of the city outside. 3 days left until the party. 3 days until she walked into the same backyard where they'd once laughed about her, and took back her voice. The morning of the party arrived bright and cloudless. Tori stood in front of her mirror, adjusting the navy blue cocktail dress she'd chosen herself. Not too flashy, not too plain, just right. Grandma deserved respect, not spectacle. She looked at her reflection and saw strength where there used to be doubt. "Today," she whispered, "they see me." As she pulled her hair back into a simple bun, her phone buzzed again. Texts from Megan, her mother, and Aunt Linda. "Please don't cause drama. It's Grandma's day. Let's keep things peaceful." She smiled faintly. Peace, yes, but not silence. Grandma's backyard looked like something out of a magazine. Rows of white chairs lined the lawn, string lights hung from the trees, and a photographer moved between tables snapping perfect moments. Tori walked in through the side gate, her heels sinking slightly into the grass. Conversations quieted for just a second, then resumed. Her mother turned, face pale, clutching a glass of wine. "Tori, you made it," she said, her smile brittle. "Grandma invited me," Tori replied simply. Megan appeared beside her, flawless in a gold dress, whispering something that made Aunt Linda laugh. They thought they could freeze her out. Not this time. For the first 2 hours Tori was invisible. When the servers passed trays of appetizers, they skipped her table. When photos were taken, her mother positioned her in the back row. "Better lighting," she explained quickly, forcing a smile. "You understand, right?" Tori nodded silently. She understood perfectly. The message was the same one she'd heard her whole life. Know your place. But as she stood in the back, one of the older relatives, Aunt Martha, who wasn't in the chat, leaned over and whispered, "Aren't you Diane's daughter, the nurse? Why are you back here?" Before Tori could answer, a familiar voice called her name. "Sweetheart," Grandma said softly from her seat near the front. Her voice, though older, carried across the crowd. "Come sit with me for a bit." Tori froze. Every head turned. Her mother's smile faltered and Megan's jaw tightened. Slowly, Tori walked toward her grandmother. The crowd parted like a quiet tide. Grandma took her hand and patted it gently. "Stay until the end tonight," she whispered. "I have something to say." Tori nodded, her pulse quickening. Grandma's eyes gleamed with the kind of calm that only comes from knowing exactly what's about to happen. The humiliation reached its peak 2 hours later. Megan clinked her glass and took the microphone. "Everyone," she said brightly, "I just want to share how much Grandma means to me." The photographer lifted his camera. Megan began a rehearsed speech filled with fake tears and half-truths. "Grandma taught me kindness, patience and love," she said, dabbing her eyes dramatically. "She's been my rock through everything." The crowd applauded. Aunt Linda sniffed loudly. Tori stood near the back, frozen in disbelief. 10 visits in 5 years, yet she claimed to be Grandma's shadow. But Tori stayed quiet. She wasn't there to argue, she was there to witness. When Megan stepped down, a cousin nudged Tori. "Aren't you going to say something?" Before she could respond, Megan appeared again, smiling sweetly. "Oh, Tori's too busy saving lives at the hospital," she said, laughing lightly. "She doesn't have time for speeches." A few people chuckled. Tori met her sister's eyes, calm but unflinching. "That's okay," she said evenly. "Grandma already knows who's been there." The laughter died quickly. Megan's smile faltered for just a second. Across the garden, Grandma nodded slightly, her gaze steady. "Not yet," her eyes seemed to say. "Wait for it." And Tori did. As the evening sky turned gold, Grandma slowly stood from her chair and tapped her glass with a spoon. "Everyone," she said, her voice clear and firm. "Please stay for a moment." The murmurs died instantly. Even Megan's confident expression wavered. "I want to talk about family," Grandma began. "About what it really means." Megan smiled again, ready to soak in more praise. But Grandma's next words froze her. "I want to talk about the person who's actually been here for me these past 10 years. The crowd shifted. Grandma's eyes found Tori. Someone who showed up every single time. The air thickened with tension. Grandma continued. "When my heart gave out, she drove me to every appointment. When I fell, she stayed all night. When I was lonely, she came without being asked." Then she looked directly at Tori. "Sweetheart, come here." Tori hesitated, but Grandma's nod was gentle and sure. Slowly she walked forward. Grandma took her hand again. "This," she said, "is my granddaughter. My real family." Megan stepped forward quickly, smiling nervously. "Of course she is, Grandma. We're all family." Grandma's tone hardened. "I'm not finished." Grandma reached into her cardigan pocket and pulled out a small brown notebook, worn, creased, filled with writing. The same one Tori had seen on her nightstand countless times. "I've been keeping records," Grandma said, her voice calm. "Every visit, every call, every promise kept and broken." A hush fell over the crowd. March 15, 2019, Tori drove me to my cardiology appointment. Megan said she was busy. She flipped a page. August 22, 2020, Tori cleaned my house and made me soup. Diane promised to visit but cancelled. The whispers started, soft and shocked. Grandma's eyes never left her notes. January 5, 2022, Grandma read. "I fell on the stairs. Tori arrived in 20 minutes and stayed all night." Megan posted a spot A photo on Instagram that same afternoon. The crowd gasped. Megan's mouth opened but no words came out. Grandma looked up slowly. September 17, 2024, Tori's divorce was finalized. "I called her every day for a month. Her own mother never called once." Tori's mother turned pale. Grandma closed the notebook carefully. 10 years, she said softly. "I wrote down everything. And I know exactly who showed up and who didn't." The crowd was silent. Grandma's words hung in the air like thunder that refused to fade. Megan tried to speak but her voice cracked. "Grandma, you don't understand, it's not." "Sit down, Megan," Grandma said softly, yet with the weight of command. Megan froze. Aunt Linda fidgeted with her clutch, her husband staring at the ground. Tori's mother tried to smile through the humiliation. "Mom, please," she stammered. "We love Tori. We just express it differently." Grandma turned her gaze on her daughter. "Do you?" she asked quietly. "Is that what you call 7 years of cruelty?" A nervous cough broke the silence. Grandma straightened her shoulders. "There's something else," she said firmly. "Something I learned 6 months ago." The guests looked at one another. "Robert," she called. From the corner, Aunt Linda's husband slowly stood. Aunt Linda grabbed his sleeve. "Robert, don't." He shook her off gently. "I'm sorry, Linda. But this has gone on long enough." His voice trembled slightly but grew stronger with every word. 6 months ago I saw the group chat on Linda's phone. It was called Real Family Only. I read every message. Every cruel word. And I showed Eleanor everything. The whispers turned to gasps. Grandma nodded. "I've known about that chat for half a year," she said calmly. "I read all 847 messages. The jokes, the bets, the lies." Her voice cracked just slightly when she added, "My own daughter wrote that she was glad Tori had no children, one less grandchild to worry about." Diane's eyes filled with tears. "Mom, I didn't mean, those were your words," Grandma interrupted. "You can't erase them." The guests stared, stunned. The image of a perfect family was dissolving before their eyes. For once, Tori didn't feel small. She felt seen. Grandma took a deep breath. "I waited for this moment," she said. "I wanted every face here to hear the truth. Family isn't about pretending in pictures. It's about who shows up when no one's watching." Then she turned to Uncle Robert. "Would you hand me the document?" He nodded and reached into his jacket, pulling out a folded paper. Aunt Linda's eyes widened. "Robert, what did you do?" "The right thing," he said simply. Grandma unfolded the paper slowly. 3 months ago I updated my will," she announced. Every whisper died instantly. "And I'd like to read it now." The words were steady, clear, and sharp as glass. This home will go to my granddaughter Tori Reynolds. She cared for it, cleaned it, and filled it with love for 10 years. She's earned it." The crowd murmured. Megan's hand flew to her mouth. Grandma continued, "The remaining assets will be divided equally among my children and grandchildren. That's fairness. Not favoritism." She looked directly at Diane. "This isn't punishment, it's balance. Tori gave her time, her kindness, her loyalty. The least I can do is make sure she isn't left with nothing." Diane's tears fell freely now. "This is insane," Aunt Linda hissed under her breath. "Tori isn't even," Grandma's voice cut her off. "Not even what, Linda?" she asked sharply. "Not even family?" The air froze. Grandma's tone softened but carried power. "Tori is my granddaughter by blood, yes. But more importantly, she's family by heart. She's shown up when the rest of you were too busy hiding behind excuses." She folded the will carefully, returning it to Robert. "That's what family means, showing up." Around the garden, people nodded quietly. The truth had broken through the lies and no one dared speak against it. Grandma turned to Tori with eyes full of pride. "Sweetheart, do you want to say something?" Tori hesitated, the weight of years pressing on her chest. Then she stepped forward. "I'm not here to yell," she began softly. "And I'm not here to embarrass anyone. I just want to say I'm done." Her mother's eyes widened. "Tori, please." "No," Tori said firmly. "For 7 years you all called me the charity case. You laughed when I fell, you bet when I failed, and you celebrated my pain. I'm not angry anymore. I'm just finished pretending that's love." She looked around the crowd, her mother, Megan, Aunt Linda, cousins, all of them quiet now, stripped of their masks. "You excluded me," she said calmly. "You made a group chat to talk about real family. I'm just agreeing with that now. I accept the boundary you already set." Her words hung in the air, gentle but final. "I'm not cutting you off. I'm simply agreeing with your choice." No one spoke. Grandma reached out, tears in her eyes, and squeezed her hand. "I'm proud of you," she whispered. Tori nodded, her throat tight. "Thank you for seeing me." The guests began to leave one by one, whispering as they went. Megan tried to approach, mascara streaking down her face. "Tori, please, we can fix this," she pleaded. Tori met her eyes. There's nothing to fix. You made your choice 7 years ago. Megan's lip trembled. You can't just walk away. I can, Tori said quietly. And I am. She turned and walked toward the house, her grandmother's hand still in hers. Behind them, her mother sat alone, silent and pale. Aunt Linda was arguing with Robert, shouting words like betrayed and ruined. Tori didn't look back. Inside, Grandma eased herself into her chair and smiled faintly. You okay, sweetheart? She asked. Tori nodded, tears finally spilling over. I think I am. Grandma chuckled softly. Good. Then let's eat some cake. It's still my birthday. They both laughed, a sound full of relief, not victory. Outside, the wind rustled through the garden, carrying away the last of the whispers. For the first time in her life, Tori felt light. She hadn't lost her family, she'd simply stopped chasing an illusion. Grandma reached for her notebook again, pen poised. Now, she said, smiling, let's write this day down.